So, a 24-year-old married teacher sends explicit videos of herself to her 16-year-old student. She's caught, she's charged with 6 felonies, and she walks away with just probation. But here's what's really disturbing. This isn't unusual, this is the pattern. I'm Caroline, welcome back, where we uncover the stories that they don't want us to talk about. Today we're exposing something that will make every parent, probably make their blood boil. I'm not a parent. This is how our justice system protects the wrong people when it comes to crimes against children. The Rikki Lynn Laughlin case isn't just about one teacher who got away with it. It's about a system that consistently fails to protect our kids when the people we trust the most betray that trust. So let me walk you through exactly what happened. Rikki Lynn Laughlin was a 24-year-old teacher at St. James High School in Missouri. She was married and trusted with educating teenagers. And she used that position to exploit a 16-year-old student. The evidence was overwhelming. She sent pornographic videos of herself to this minor via Snapchat. She pressured him for sexual contact. She used her authority as an educator to manipulate a child. And when she was caught, prosecutors didn't mess around. They filed 6 separate felony charges against her: sexual exploitation of a minor, sexual trafficking of a child, possession of child pornography. These aren't minor infractions. These are serious crimes that typically carry years in prison. So what happened? How does someone facing 6 felonies for exploiting a child end up just walking free? Well, here's where the teacher exception kicks in. Despite overwhelming evidence and 6 felony charges, Laughlin's case was pleaded down to a single count of endangering the welfare of a child. Simply a misdemeanor. The judge sentenced her to 5 years in prison. Then he immediately suspended that sentence, and she got 5 years of probation instead. No jail time, no prison, just supervision. Let me put this in perspective. If you or I, as regular citizens, sent explicit videos to a minor, pressured them for sex, and were caught with child pornography, we'd be looking at a decade in prison, minimum, sex offender registry for life. Our lives, they'd be over. But she's a teacher, and apparently that changes everything. Because here's what I discovered when I started digging deeper. This isn't an anomaly. This is a pattern that's happening nationwide, and nobody's even talking about it. Nearly 350 kindergarten through 12th grade teachers were arrested on child sex crimes in 2022 alone. That's almost 1 per day, and the numbers are rising every year. But here's what's really wild. When these cases go to court, teachers consistently receive lighter sentences than other offenders for identical crimes, and not slightly lighter, dramatically lighter. I found case after case where teachers charged with serious sexual crimes against minors received probation, suspended sentences, or minimal jail time. Meanwhile, non-teachers committing the same crimes are serving years in prison. Let me give you some names and faces to go with these statistics. Jessica Sawicki, 37 years old, married English teacher from New Jersey, March 2024. She was found half naked in a car with her teenage student at a wildlife refuge. Police discovered they'd had unprotected sex multiple times, and she was charged with 5 counts of second-degree sexual assault and 5 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. She was released pending trial, not sitting in jail like you or I would be. Jennifer Fitzger, 29, a Florida teacher, already jailed for a relationship with one 17-year-old student, then faced 20 additional counts for unlawful sex with another student, multiple victims, multiple felonies, and yet she's walking around free while her case drags through the system. Eugene Pratt, 57, former principal and teacher in Michigan, charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct for allegedly sexually assaulting at least 15 boys and young men during his education career. 15 victims. Think about that. 15 children whose lives he destroyed while he was supposed to be protecting them, educating them. Winston Wyn, 37, teacher at an elite Brooklyn private school. He was arrested and charged with 11 felonies for posing as a student on Snapchat and asking students to send him sexual images. This man had already served prison time for fraud before they put him in charge of children. No jail time. Emily Patterson, 37-year-old choir teacher from Worcester, Ohio. 8 years of trusted service to the school district, then she started having sexual conduct with her 17-year-old student, multiple incidents between September and December 2019. charged with 2 felony counts of sexual battery. Her sentence, 3 years probation. No prison time, no problem. Andre Rollins, 35, substitute teacher at Schroeder High School in Cincinnati, accused of sexual battery against a minor student over the course of an entire school year. Initially charged with 1 count, and then a grand jury added 5 additional felonies and 1 misdemeanor when more evidence emerged. His sentence in March 2025, 3 years probation. The judge even said if he violates probation, he'd face 5 years in prison, but apparently not 1 day of actual jail time for sexually abusing a child. Great. Kara Lee, 26-year-old special education teacher from Cross Country High School in Arkansas, charged with 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault and contributing to the delinquencies of a minor for having sexual intercourse with a student in November and December 2023. She didn't even get fired. She was allowed to resign. Her sentence, 36 months in prison, completely suspended, just probation. And Melissa Rockenzi's 32-year-old married mother of 3 from New York. She repeatedly raped her 14-year-old student in her car and sent him explicit messages. She was charged with rape in the first degree and criminal sexual acts. She was facing up to 7 years in prison. What did she actually get? Well, of course, she got a plea deal down to endangering the welfare of a child with no jail time. She walked out of court smiling. 8 different teachers, 7 different states. Dozens of child victims between them. And in case after case, we see the same pattern. Charges that should result in decades in prison, or at least a few years in prison, somehow become probation, suspended sentences, or endless delays. So why does this happen? Why do judges consistently go easy on teachers when they commit these crimes against children? It's something that I call the trusted professional bias. We put teachers on a pedestal in our society. We see them as nurturing, caring, dedicated to children's welfare. And when they violate that trust, our brains just struggle to process it. Judges hear character witnesses talking about how wonderful this teacher was, how they volunteered for school events, they did this, they did that, how they seemed to care about their students. Defense attorneys argue that this was out of character. This behavior is something they'd never done before. But here's what they're missing. When someone in a position of trust and authority exploits that position to harm children, that should make the crime more serious, not less serious. The betrayal of trust should be an aggravating factor, not a mitigating one. And while we're talking about statistics and sentencing disparities, let's not forget who really suffers here. The children, the victims who trusted their teachers and had that trust shattered in a crazy way. These kids then have to live with the trauma of being exploited by someone they were taught to respect and to trust. They have to watch their abuser walk free while they carry the psychological scars for life. When we give teachers lighter sentences for these crimes, we're sending a message. We're saying that betraying the trust of a child isn't as serious when you're an educator. We're saying that your profession matters more than your victim's trauma. I mean, this needs to stop. The teacher exception is real, and it's failing our children every single day. Parents need to know this is happening. Communities need to demand accountability. When a teacher is charged with crimes against children, we need to pay attention to the sentencing. We need to ask why they're getting probation when anyone else would be getting prison time. We need to demand that judges treat these cases with the seriousness they deserve. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your profession is. If you exploit children, if you use your position of trust to harm them, you should face the full consequences of the law. No exceptions, no special treatment, no teacher exception. The Rikki Lynn Laughlin case is just the tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds of more cases just like hers happening across the country every year. It was crazy when I was researching. And until we start talking about this pattern, until we start demanding justice for these children, nothing's going to change. So I'm asking you, share this video, talk about this issue, because children's safety should be more important than protecting the reputation of a profession that's supposed to be educating and protecting them. I mean, some of the cases were crazy, like teachers being impregnated by their 14 and 15-year-old students and then getting out on bail because of that, then having their sentences suspended completely. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could link some videos for y'all because I couldn't even believe it when I really started looking into it, how many cases there are. Like, it seems like almost daily and in every state, and the sentences were just, I mean, some people got strict sentences, of course, but a lot of them got completely suspended sentences and just probation. I don't know. What do you think? Have you seen this pattern in your community? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden headlines. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Caroline, and I will see y'all soon, okay? Bye.